Of course, don't forget about your dental hygiene. Bring a toothbrush and toothpaste. There are lots of other things that you need to be bringing for first aid kits. I'm not going to go into details about that at all, but make sure you've got a first aid kit set up. There's also, if you're traveling to foreign countries, there are various travel medications that you're going to need to be taking, possibly to prevent malaria or other, for treatment of diarrhea or other illnesses like that. Also, on a trek like Kilimanjaro, there are medications that you're going to want to take for high altitude. Again, the best thing to do is to check with your doctor to find out what medications and immunizations you may need to be bringing on a trek like this. Of course, you're going to want to remember to bring your watch and a compass. Some people may want to bring a GPS device. And of course, don't forget your maps. And while you're hiking, you're definitely going to want to have snacks readily available. These smoked almonds are delicious, and they're very good because they give you a lot of energy, but they also give you some salt to balance the water that you're drinking in your Camelback or Nalgene bottle, to make up for some of the salt that you're losing in your sweat. And the same thing with these, they're sort of granola bars. Pick ones that you enjoy. Make sure that they're not just all sugar, but they have some protein in them to give you some longer lasting energy. Now, speaking of nutrition, you may wonder that I haven't mentioned anything about cooking food or the kitchen supplies that you're going to need to do the cooking. For that matter, I haven't mentioned anything about a tent. And the reason for that is that when you're going on a trek to places like Mount Kilimanjaro or down to Peru into the Andes to hike the Inca Trail, you're required to bring guides and porters. Porters are the people who carry all of that equipment, in fact supply all of the food and tents for you, and carry a good portion of the weight. Now, on one hand, that may seem like it's an easy way out, so that you don't have to carry all of the equipment that you normally would when you're doing normal backpacking camping into the woods. But there are several reasons for this. First of all is that you're going into areas that they're trying very hard to protect, to make sure that they're not damaged by tourists coming through. So the purpose of the guides and the porters is to make sure that the areas are kept pristine and kept clean as much as possible, although that has been a problem at Mount Everest that they're working on. And also to make sure that people don't get lost. These are dangerous areas because of the altitudes, and it's easy for people to get lost. We've heard stories in Kilimanjaro of tourists who didn't listen to their guides and walked off the trails and were never seen again. This is serious stuff, and the guides and porters are there to help protect you. The other thing is there's a high risk of injury during these treks, and so the porters will help actually carry injured hikers back down the mountain, which can be life-saving. The other benefit is that by having the porters and guides come along on these treks, they are making money, which is helping the local economy. The porters and then go buy food, which help the people in the villages below, so that they can feed their children, and it helps improve the schools. So it's really supporting the entire economy of the villages that surround these areas. And so that's why it's a requirement by law that you have to go with porters and guides when doing treks like this. And then the last thing to think about when preparing for a trip like a hike of Mount Kilimanjaro is your physical fitness. This is a very strenuous hike up to over 19,000 feet through very demanding conditions, and you need to have done strengthening and cardiovascular exercises to prepare you for a hike to the summit. And so what I did, which is probably the minimum you can get away with for this kind of hike, is for about 4 months I would exercise 3 to 4 days a week on an elliptical machine for 45 to 60 minutes, and then also hike a local mountain 1 to 2 times a month. And if you don't have a physical job, then this is the minimal amount of exercise that you can do to survive, be successful on one of these hikes. But having said that, with proper planning and conditioning, you can be successful on a adventure like this. Different mountains have different conditions and different physical environments, so they may require different equipment. So it's very important to research wherever you're going, to make a good solid packing list, to follow that list, double check it, make sure you brought everything that you intended to bring. If you're prepared, you'll be safe and successful.
Okay.
I will climb the
chair. I will be the best maker of the life. I'm sitting on top of Kilimanjaro. Oh yeah, I thought that you tomorrow. I'm sitting on the top of Kilimanjaro. Oh yeah, I cast away all my sorrow. Pull me up.